I'm Carla, 63. The dining room was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by the soft clinking of cutlery against plates. I sat at the table, surrounded by my family, but it felt like I was in a different world. My daughter-in-law, Ava, 26, had just dropped a bombshell on me. Leaning over, she whispered into my ear, "I'm pregnant with your husband's baby, you old hack." I let out a laugh, a sound that surprised even me. "Don't worry, dear," I heard myself say, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. But as I looked across the table at my husband, Victor, 70, his silver hair neatly combed, his blue eyes avoiding mine, I felt a part of me die. Victor and I had been married for 40 years. We built our life in this beautiful Victorian-style house, filled with memories of shared breakfasts, lazy afternoons in the garden, and the warmth of family gatherings. Our son, Ethan, 41, was a kind-hearted man, always seeing the best in people. He was completely oblivious to the tension in the air, chatting excitedly about the new addition to the family. It all started to seem off a few months ago. Victor began acting strangely. He would come home late, his explanations about work or errands sounding flimsy. 3 months ago, I noticed he started showering at odd times. When I asked, he said he didn't want to smell like the paint he was using for some home repairs. I believed him, but now I realize how naive I was. 2 months ago, I found a credit card bill with charges from a fancy hotel and a high-end jewelry store. When I confronted him, he said it was for a surprise anniversary gift for me. I was touched then, but now it all seems like a lie. Ava started visiting more often when Ethan was at work. She would always have some excuse, like wanting to learn my famous apple pie recipe. I would often find her and Victor in deep conversation, which would stop abruptly when I entered the room. Victor would say they were just discussing some home improvement ideas, but Ava had never shown any interest in home projects before. One day, I decided to follow my instincts. I searched Victor's study when he was out. In the bottom drawer of his desk, hidden beneath a stack of old books, I found bank statements for a secret account. There were large, unexplained deposits and regular cash withdrawals. I took photos of the statements, my hands shaking with a mix of anger and fear. Around the same time, I saw Ava giving money to our gardener, Leo, 38. Leo was a hard, working man who had been taking care of our garden for years. I watched through the window as Ava argued with him, shoving an envelope into his hand. When Ethan came home and found Ava talking to Leo, she quickly made up an excuse about asking for gardening advice for the baby's future play area. That night, Victor received a mysterious phone call. He looked pale as he hung up and said he had to run an errand. I followed him secretly. He met Ava and Leo at a secluded spot near the park. Their argument was heated, and I could tell something big was going on. The next day, I searched Ethan's old room, where Ava sometimes stayed. Hidden in the back of the closet, I found a folder filled with Ethan's financial documents. There were large debts from online gambling, debts that I knew Ethan could never have incurred on his own. I confronted Ava about it. She tried to manipulate me, saying she was just trying to help Ethan, and that Victor was in on it to protect our son from the shame. She said she needed time to establish herself in the family and that the baby was her insurance. But fate gave me the final piece of the puzzle. One morning, I found a DNA test result in the bathroom. It clearly showed that the baby was Leo's, not Ethan's. I planned a family dinner just like I used to do in the good old days. I cooked all of Ethan's favorite dishes and set the table with our finest china. When we were all seated, I casually brought up the topic of genetics and DNA testing. Ava's face went white as I placed the DNA test in front of her. Ethan was devastated as he read it. He finally understood the web of lies that had been spun around him. Victor confessed that he had been trying to protect Ethan from the consequences of his gambling addiction. Ava had found out about the debts and blackmailed Victor into pretending to have an affair with her. In the end, Ava packed her things and left. I arranged for her to stay with Leo's sister until the baby was born, giving her a chance to start over. Ethan joined a support group for gamblers, and Victor and I grew closer as we rebuilt our trust. 6 months later, I received a photo of a healthy baby boy in the mail. On the back, Ava had written, "Thank you for the second chance." And a few months after that, Ethan married a wonderful woman, and they had a beautiful daughter. I learned that sometimes the greatest battles are fought in silence, and the most powerful weapon is the courage to face the truth and choose love over revenge.